Hi guys, Kazoo71 here with a tutorial and guide to harvesting oil in Ark Survival Evolved. Now, oil can be harvested in several ways. One of the most common ways is by harvesting oil rocks or collecting from an oil vein. In this video, I plan on showing you the different ways to harvest oil on all official maps. At the end of the video, I'm going to show you two short video clips on the island of some easier spots to harvest oil. So stay tuned until the end if you want to watch those. Now let's start with what the wiki says can harvest oil the best in the order of the best harvester to the lowest. The first one is the Dunkleosteus. The next one is the Ankylosaurus. Then the chainsaw, the excavation rig on the Textrider, the metal pick, the saber-tooth, which is very shocking to me. I didn't know a saber-tooth would harvest oil. And then the last one is the stone pick. Now, there's two types of oil rocks on the maps that do have them. The first one we're going to talk about is the surface oil rocks. So here's a picture of one. Now, these are the ones that would be most beneficial to use an Ankylosaurus to harvest them from. You'll probably use a pick early game, a stone pick, but if you get into these oil rocks, you probably have a metal pick by then. The other oil rocks are the underwater rocks. Here's a picture of one. These are the ones that are best harvested by the Dunkleosteus. Once again, you're probably going to use a pick early game, as the Dunkleosteus is in the deep ocean, and it's not an easy tame early game. Heck, it's not even an easy tame late game. So, for the canon maps, the oil rocks can be found on the island, Aberration, Extinction, Genesis 1, and Genesis 2. For the official DLC maps, they can be found on the Center, Ragnarok, Valguero, Crystal Isles, Lost Island, and Fjordor. Okay, the next major way is the oil veins. Oil veins are something you would use a bit later on, as they require placing an oil pump on them. The oil pump is not learned until level 60, so it takes a while to get there. It's not that expensive to make. It only requires 75 metal ingots, 25 electronics, and 25 crystal. The oil veins are not on every map. For the canon maps, they can be located on Scorched Earth, Genesis 1, and Genesis 2. As for the official DLC maps, they are on Ragnarok, Valguero, Crystal Isles, Lost Island, and Fjordor. Now, as a side note about the oil pumps, they cannot be locked. At least they're not supposed to be. So if you're playing on an official map, others can access them. That's how it's supposed to work. Now, I've played on official maps on PvP and PvC, and I've seen them where you could access them, and I've seen them where you couldn't. So it's a very strange dynamic. I don't know why it does that. I think maybe they're broken. But if you're playing on single player, oil pumps are great. Okay, the next method of collecting oil is killing things. The fun way in the game. There are several dinos that have oil in them, and in my opinion, the tech dinos are the easiest way to find and harvest any oil early game. Any tech dino you kill has a chance of giving you oil, and almost every time you will get oil. So here are some other dinos and creatures that will give you oil if you harvest them. The trilobite. They are found underwater and on the beaches. Early game, very easy to find. They're all over the beaches. And in the very shallow waters. They're also in deep water too. On Aberration, they're very, very abundant in the rivers. And on my Aberration playthrough right now, you can see there's just a ton of them everywhere if you're watching that playthrough. The next one is the leech and the lamprey. Both of these have a good chance of dropping oil when you kill them, but they seem to drop more leech blood than oil. But you will get oil from them occasionally. It's just not often. Alright, for Extinction, you can kill the Enforcer or the Defense units. You'll get oil from killing them almost every time. I'm sorry I don't have a picture of a Defense unit, so I'm going to flash this one from the Wiki. But here's the Enforcer, as you guys can see. Now, the Basilosaurus, by far my favorite way to get oil on any map that has ocean. This is not something you'll get early game, but once you tame one, kill them all. I mean, you get a ton of oil from killing these guys. Just go on a rampage and kill Basilosaurus after Basilosaurus. You're going to fill up with oil after a couple of them, and you won't be able to contain the weight anymore. So that's the best method, I think. Now, the last but not the least is the Tusoteuthis. That's the giant squid. The wiki claims you'll get oil from his inventory after you kill it, but I just checked a few of my videos before I did this one, and you will get oil from killing them with another dino. I used the Basilosaurus again to kill them. It's very easy, and when you kill them, you got a chance of getting oil. Not all the time, but you will get oil. So the next method is a passive method. If you tame a Basilosaurus or a Tusoteuthis, you will get oil from their inventory. They continually produce oil. It's that purple oil. It's the exact same as the black oil. You get like 20 at a time. So when you get 20, take the 20 out. It'll make 20 more. It's a constant thing. Now, if you tame a dung beetle and put it on Wonder, it will passively produce oil. This is not going to be as much as the Basilosaurus or the Tusoteuthis, but you will get oil. On the dung beetle, I highly recommend you level up the weight. The more weight it has, the more oil it can produce. Also, if you're using it for fertilizer, that's going to give you more fertilizer if you increase the weight. The last method is a very strange one. You can cook a Hesperornis egg in a cooking pot or an industrial cooker, and it'll produce oil. One egg will produce 12 oil. If you don't know what a Hesperornis is, here's one now. They're very annoying to tame, and if you take an egg from a wild one and they see you, they're going to attack you. We call these the ducks of Ark. Now, on Aberration, one more point. The oil rocks are on the surface and in the red zone, which I call the radiation zone. Both are very difficult to obtain, and your best bet on Aberration is to kill tech dinos and kill trilobites. I'm going to link the resource maps in the description of this video so you can look up where the oil rocks and oil veins are located on every map that we talked about. If you're still with me, next are the 2 locations on the island that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this was helpful. If it was, please leave a like. Subscribe if you haven't done so. And as always, comments are much appreciated. Thanks, and I'll see you next time. Alright, guys, Kazoo71 here on the island. I want to show you guys a couple of oil locations. Number 1, this is probably early game, one of the easiest ones you can get to underwater. Okay, let me make that clear, underwater. Here you go where we are on the map. So you can see I'm at 88.1, 57.9. Now what I'm going to do is show you guys how to do this. You can do this with no scuba gear whatsoever. I would recommend a Sarco if you tame a Sarco, or if you tame a Baryonyx. I'm going to do a cheat flash so I can show you guys where we are on the map so you get a good idea. So there's the green obelisk over there. There's the red obelisk over there, but you see where we are. The start point most people start at is right over there. But here we are. We're going to go down right here. And like I said, I'm going to show you guys how to do this. I'm going to go walk. And I have God mode on so I can show you guys how to do this so I don't get hurt. But you can go down here. You can swim this. As you can see, there's oil coming up right there. You can swim this without scuba gear. You can make it. I would recommend putting a bed down over there or a bedroll. That way, if you die trying to come up from the oxygen, you can hurry up and get back up. But you see them right there? Those are the oil nodes. You're going to use a hatchet. Let's go down here real quick. Let me get some air. And I don't need them because I have God mode on. But we're just going to scoot down here and I'll show you guys what an oil rock looks like. As you can see, I'm not running out of air. I'll do this without the air on in just a second to show you guys. That Megalodon's going to bug me. Let's do a dino wipe. Goodbye. Alright, let's go down here. Alright, so these are the oil rocks I'm talking about underwater. This is how you get oil. This is probably the easiest place to get them early game underwater if you can get down here. Use a Baryonyx or a Sarco. You can get down here quick, jump off your mount, hatchet these guys a few times. As you can see, I'm getting oil. Right, and once you get your oil, you might get weighted down with the stone. Just head back up. And let's see how fast I can get back up. Because you're going to have to get down here and back up in the time that it takes to lose your oxygen. So that's why I say use a mount. Okay? Don't do what I'm doing. It's very difficult. Use a mount. Be quicker. Yeah, I got slow I'm going. Alright, we up. Let me dump my hands. And let's just do this one more time. I'm going to show you guys without God mode on. And without infinite stats. So now let's make sure I'm losing oxygen. Yep, losing oxygen. Let's do this again. And here we are, same spot. Let's go down and see how long it takes me to get down and back up. No scuba gear. Can you do this without scuba gear? Come on. Halfway down on the oxygen and I'm almost dead. Okay, so we made it down here. All the oxygen's gone. Hit this thing. I got some oil. You can hit it a couple more times. Let's get back up. Oops. Come on. Can we make it? Watch my health on the bottom right. It's going down, buddy. Come on. Come on. That's why you want to use a baryonyx or a sarco to get down here the first time. Or if you were good enough to tame something. So there you go. We made it. As long as you don't run into any megalodons or anything like that, you can make that. I'm going to go ahead and get out this water before something comes get me. Let's put the stats back on. So there you go, guys. There's the water spot that's kind of easy to get to on the island. That's probably the easiest one. Let me bring you guys back. I'll show you guys the snow one. Alright, guys. I am in the snow area. I want to show you guys where I am on the map. Let's pull out the GPS and the map here and take a look. Here you go. Top corner here. I'm at 17.2, 09.6. As you can see, I'm at the top of that map up there. And this is where your oil rocks are going to be on the island. This is where the penguins are as well. And let me show you guys what these oil rocks look like. There's a bunch of them right there. Let's go down here and take a look. Here's one right here. Let's get down a little bit lower. But these are oil rocks. This is what they look like. And this is what you're going to need to do. Now, as you can see, I got the ice cube at the bottom, so it's freezing down here. So you want to make sure that if you come down here, you got some snow gear. Now, the best thing to harvest these with is an ankylosaurus. So if you have an ankylo and you have a boat, get over here with an ankylo. You can harvest a ton of oil. These guys, let me show you guys. I'm going to do a cheat fly. I'm going to go up in the air and I'll show you guys. There's a bunch. There's a bunch on this little island right here. That's the one I was just on. There's some all over here. And there's some all over here. Now, out here on these three islands, there's just penguins. There's nothing out here. The only thing you got to contend with is stuff in the water, like the big whale that starts with the L that'll knock your boat out and tear your boat up. Other than that, you don't have to worry about anything. You can get out here on your own. You can harvest these guys with no problem. So there's the oil rocks once again. Let's take another picture of that. I hope this was helpful, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time.